Hey EDL 633 classmates, we talked about trying to have more interesting backgrounds, so you get the crazy Gizmo behind me, so you'll have a more interesting background for this video for me. Thank you all for your videos and for your feedback. It was good to see you all today. Looking forward to being able to see you a little more often next semester, since we'll have classes every other week instead of every couple months. Obviously, I think everybody's topics are really interesting. I was a swimmer and a lifeguard once upon a time. I obviously worked with international students and think international topics are really interesting, and in some ways Jen and Sarah's topics are kind of the flip side of what my topic is, as mine is looking at students going out and yours are looking at students going in, and a lot of the issues are really similar. So really appreciate everything that everybody's had to say. Jen, you've talked a lot about some of the commonalities that all of your athletes discussed, but I'm actually curious to know if there were differences, if there were maybe differences by what team the students belong to, by gender, by their native language, and I'm curious if any of the students really discussed any of the differences. And also thank you, Jen, for some of the comments about that maybe I should look at program duration and how that may affect students' choices, and how some of the human capital aspects of human capital theory may impact student duration of the program that they choose and not just the location. Jake, I know in class today you were talking about how you were looking at swimmers, but I know you both mentioned in your video and in class that some of these swimmers also do other activities, that maybe they are triathletes or they participate in other club or intramural sports. And I'm also wondering if there might be a difference between kind of students who participate in only one type of activity and those who kind of diversify. And I think you've kind of already figured this out, but it sounds like maybe it would make sense for you to move kind of away from the retention side of your literature review and look more at stress relief specifically. Sarah, I had lots of thoughts about your topic. You mentioned kind of some of the types of programming that might be helpful for students, but I think most institutions do have some sort of conversation partner or mentor program, and I'd be curious to know if Chinese students at those institutions actually take advantage and participate in things like a language conversation partner program or a mentor program. You said, this was kind of your quote, that they were left alone to tackle their difficulties, and I don't imagine that these students probably want to be singled out, but I also am wondering if services are provided, like at UNCW we have an international office, and are these students taking advantage of the services provided by that office, or what's the best way to make sure that those students get the services that that they feel like they need. And I know in our discussions in class today you had said they were having some struggles, but it didn't sound like you hadn't talked about how serious some of those struggles were in terms of having insomnia and eating disorders and high levels of stress. Sounds like maybe they need to go swim if that helps with stress relief. But you know, what's causing those issues? Is it their academic concerns? Is it culture shock? Is it time management because it's taking them longer to do their assignments because of the language barriers? You know, what are the factors that are leading specifically to those pretty serious, you know, health issues that they're experiencing? And another thing that I thought about, particularly because this relates back to my study, is what efforts are these students making to improve their English while they're in the U.S.? I know you said that they like to be able to talk to their Chinese counterparts so they can actually speak in Chinese, and that language is one of the big issues. But are they going through processes while in the U.S. other than going to class to really work on improving their English? I know that's something we see a lot with two students who might study abroad in the same non-English speaking destination, and one may really, really improve their foreign language skills, and one may only improve a little bit based on the activities that they're taking part of in that country. And also along with that, what are those students' motivations for choosing to study in the U.S.? Is it to learn English and to learn about U.S. culture, or is it just to gain an educational degree from a U.S. institution? I wonder how the students' motivations for choosing to study in the U.S. Might affect their experience. I guess those are my comments in a nutshell. Thanks so much, and I'll look forward to seeing everybody else's videos. Thanks.